Hi, Nathan W. Bingham here with Ligonier Ministries, and we are in Greece as we're about to begin our Mediterranean study tour. I'm joined by Dr. Stephen Nichols, President of Reformation Bible College, also a Ligonier Ministries teaching fellow. Well, Dr. Nichols, it has not even been 24 hours since we stepped off the plane, and we're already surrounded by ruins. Where are we right now?
Yeah, we are in a fascinating place. We are in the ancient city of Corinth. Of course, this was a very important city in the New Testament and in the first century. Visitors would have come right through the main gate, which would have been located here on this main avenue, and ruins of it are left. We walked on it ourselves. And of course, behind us, we have these columns. They were part of the Temple of Apollo. It would have been this monumental building that would have just blocked the sun as they walked in. And this was a very impressive city, and so many from Greece and from the Mediterranean world came to this city.
Well, there's one visitor in particular that we want to focus on. Who's he?
That's right. That would be Paul. And he made a visit to Corinth, the first visit to Corinth, in 50 AD. Now, at that time, we see ruins, but you have to picture this. At that time, this city would have been between 300,000 and 500,000 people. In addition to visitors that would be coming, sailors and bringing in goods with all of the trade that would be taking place at the busy port, this was a very important city. While Paul was here, he met some friends that would be friends for life. It was here that he met up with Aquilla and Priscilla. And of course, they shared the same profession. They were tent makers, and they were also proclaimers of the gospel. But they were tent makers, and they worked together here in the marketplace at Corinth in their profession.
Now, when we think of Corinth, we might think of 1st and 2nd Corinthians,
Yes.
letters he wrote to the church here. But he actually wrote an epistle while he was in Corinth.
That's right, Nathan. He was here 3 times. He came here that first time, stayed here for 18 months. He made a brief visit while he was at Ephesus for 3 years. It's about 2 or 3 days sailing across the Aegean Sea from here to Ephesus. But he also came here at the end of what would have been his 3rd missionary journey, spent several months here. And it was during that time that he wrote the Epistle to Romans. When he first came here, of course, like all the cities, he would visit the synagogue. And so the synagogue, which would be just over to my right here in the ruins, is where Paul would have first been proclaiming the gospel. There was an initial reception, but then they turned on Paul and opposed Paul. And he ended up moving literally next door to the synagogue to the home of Titius Justus Gaius. And it was from that home, in that home, that Paul wrote that monumental epistle, the Epistle of Romans.
Now, as you've toured the city today and read Acts 18
Yes.
and the account there, what are some of your reflections?
Yeah, I think one reflection is this was a very strategic place for Paul. This was a place of opportunity. Not only did you have this large population here, but this was the center for Greece. So many different people groups would come here. They'd go from here out to those places. Again, it's just a few days sail to Ephesus. It's 5 days to Rome. Paul saw this as strategic and part of his mission to see the gospel proclaimed across this Mediterranean world and beyond. But not only was it a city of opportunity, it was also a city of opposition. There was the opposition from those in the synagogue that opposed the message of Paul, but it was also a place of intense spiritual opposition. This place, Corinth, had a lot of visitors, had a lot of wealth, had a lot of sailors. Well, with that also came a lot of sexual immorality. In fact, we have from one Roman historian that the temple to Aphrodite here in Corinth would have had 1,000 temple prostitutes. So this is a place of intense temptation, a place of opposition, and it's set against this place of opportunity and where Paul spent significant time teaching. It reminds me, Nathan, you mentioned in Acts 18. In Acts 18, we're told that one night while Paul was here, during that first stay, he had a vision. And in that vision, Christ said to Paul, "Do not be afraid." He said, "Do not stop talking. Do not be silent. Keep proclaiming the gospel." And then he said to Paul, "For I am with you." Well, of course, that takes us back to the Great Commission and Christ's promise to us that he is with us. And we see that worked out in the life of Paul in this place in the first century. and we get a sense of our own day. It's a time of opportunity, but it's also a time of opposition. We feel it. We sense that hostility. And we don't need a vision, actually. We don't need Christ audibly speaking to us because we have His Word and we have the promises of His Word. So we too need to not be silent. We need also to keep speaking, and we need to remember that Christ is with us. And so that's my reflection as we spend this time here in Corinth today.
Well, thank you, Dr. Nichols. I'm looking forward to continuing this tour with you, with our Ligonier friends as well.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to visiting other places with you and just seeing this era that's just so rich in biblical history and spending this time.
Well, if you'd like to tour with Ligonier Ministries at an upcoming study tour, you can find all of those dates mentioned at ligoniertours.com.